Hello, sweet friends. It's Ashley Clark with Earthkeeper Yoga here in Birmingham, Alabama. And I have a class for you today surrounded by the idea of integrity. So we have our own personal integrity and we have physical integrity within our bodies. So as we move through somewhat familiar, hopefully, poses today, you can focus with me on the integrity that you're holding in the posture. So we won't be doing anything new or out of the ordinary. We'll just keep the practice nice and simple, but we'll think about the integrity of our physical body. So as you're ready, we're actually going to start on our backs. I do want to let you know that I have a block up at the top of the mat, and I make your way into that supine position. So go ahead and just roll all the way down. You can let the arms come out to the side. Extend the legs long. Allow yourself to really take up some space here. Let the feet just kind of fall out to either side. We'll begin our practice simply just noting anything that shows up here in this physical space. So you can notice the sounds around you. You can notice your physical body. How are you right here, right now? And are there places within your physical body that are offering you ease in this moment? You can offer up some gratitude for those spaces. You can start to bring some awareness to the breath. Noticing where the breath shows up for you, whether it's in the deep low belly, in the middle, right at the beginning of the rib cage, or maybe it's up near the heart, near the collarbones. Maybe it's in all three. And as your awareness starts to deepen, allow the breath to deepen as well. So wherever the breath is, let it expand into other areas right there in the center of you. Notice the expansion of the rib cage up into the sides, pressing against the back of the mat. Beautiful. One more. As you're ready, you can bend those knees. You can bring the legs up into the air. They can be somewhat relaxed. You can just circle the ankles, point and flex the feet. If you'd like to bend the elbows and do the same with the fingers and the wrists, go right ahead. Just allowing yourself to stay relaxed here. Beautiful. As you're ready, reach those arms up towards the sky. Let the shoulders relax down. We're going to think about having a really long spine from the sacrum all the way up to the crown of the head. We're going to lift and reach the fingertips towards the toes, but being mindful of keeping the shoulders in line with the rest of the body. So we're not reaching the shoulders forward, we're lifting the heart up. You can keep the feet loose. You don't even have to flex them since our legs are really cold. We'll take an inhale, lift the upper body so you're really using the core muscles. Awareness to those shoulders, keep them down. And then exhale to release back towards the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. One more. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Let those arms come out into that T, equal with the shoulders. Bend the knees so that the feet can come back to the mat. Shimmy the outside edges of your feet even with the outside edges of your mat, and we'll take an inhale here. As you exhale, let those knees fall over to the right. Inhale through center, and then exhale, knees go over to the left. Inhaling through center, knees over to the right. So just use your breath here, inhaling through center and exhaling over to either side. Give yourself one more round, either side. And we'll meet back in stillness, not stillness. We'll meet back in stillness with the knees up towards the sky. And make sure that those feet are right under the knees. You'll have to shimmy the feet back in just a bit. And then as you're ready, reach the arms up over the head. Point the fingertips away. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, lift up once again. Reach the fingertips up as the knees come into the chest. Exhale, lower down. 3 more, just like that. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, release. Last one. And let yourself exhale all the way back down, releasing the shoulders, releasing the arms, even though they're over the head. Give yourself 3 breaths here. Bring your hands down to your knees. So you'll lift your knees up towards the sky and then bring those hands right below the kneecaps. We're going to rock and roll up and all the way over into table. If this doesn't work for your body, you can simply just roll over onto one side and then press into a hand to lift yourself up. We will be here for a moment, so if you'd like to take your blanket and unfold it and then put your knees on top of it, feel free. So those hands are right under the shoulders, knees are right under hips. And we've got this nice long spine. So the tailbone isn't curling up and it's not curving in. It's nice and neutral. Fingers press into the floor. We'll take an inhale, lift the crown and the head and the tailbone up towards the sky. Lift through the chin. Feel that stretch all through the torso, all the way up through the neck. And then slowly exhale, round that in. Pressing the hands into the floor, letting the shoulder blades come apart. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, round in. Continuing with your breath, staying strong through the arms. That's your integrity. We'll meet back in a neutral spine. From here, you can send the hips back towards the heels. Let the arms stretch long in front as the torso rolls over the thighs, coming into child's pose. The shoulders release down towards the floor. Brow may even come to the floor. If the brow doesn't make it, you could always put your block right on top of the mat and then rest your brow on the block on any of the various 3 settings. Inhale, we'll meet back in table. Keep that blanket under the knees. And then we're going to make sure that we have that neutral spine. We're pressing the hands into the floor. We're going to make sure that this left wrist is right under the left shoulder, and then send the right fingertips forward. So we're lengthening through that arm, reaching the fingertips away, but we're keeping the right shoulder in line with everything else. We're not reaching that right shoulder up. And then that left hand is right under the left wrist. We'll take this left leg and send it out behind. Flex through that left foot. Now awareness to this right knee. Press the knee into the floor and lift through the pelvis. Breathing here. In and out. One more. Beautiful. Right hand comes down, left knee comes in. Now right wrist right under that right shoulder, pressing in, finding that neutral spine. We'll send these left fingertips forward. Spread that palm, spread the fingers, and start to engage through that left arm. We'll send the right leg back behind us, flexing through that right foot. And then we'll press into that left knee, engaging through the pelvis and the hips. Staying strong here, gaze towards that left thumb. Last breath. Inhale. You can bring that left hand in, right knee in, and we'll go ahead and curl our toes, lift hips, and find that first down dog. Feel free to move the blanket off the mat. We won't need it for the next little bit. So as you come into this down dog, those arms are pressed into the mat and the tailbone reaches towards the sky. We're not worried about whether or not the heels make their way to stay at the back of the mat. You can pedal through here, linking breath to movement. Head hangs heavy, gaze towards the knees. One more breath. Beautiful. As you're ready, come to stillness. We're going to take a walk so that our hands and feet meet in the middle of our mats. We'll meet there in a forward fold. And there's a big bend in the knees here for that first forward fold. So the torso might even be rolling over the thighs. We'll take an inhale halfway, long spine, reaching the crown away, knees not locked. And then exhale to release towards the floor. Inhale down low. And then exhale, we'll take a slow rise, coming up in a way that serves and honors your body. We'll bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears and then let them roll down the back. Palms face forward. We'll find that connection to the feet. Lengthen through the spine, but staying soft through the knees. Crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. Connect with your breath in your body here. So let's see what we can do even in this simple mountain pose. I'm going to stay turned to the side so that you can see the different places that we try to engage and explore just in this simple posture. So maybe we'll start by just rocking back and forth on the feet, Lifting the toes, moving from the ball and then back to the heel. You can have a soft gaze here. You can even keep your eyes closed, or feel free to keep your eyes on me. So as the feet feel nice and settled, connected to the mat, we'll press into the feet just enough that we feel like we're rippling up all the way to the crown of the head, but we haven't locked the knees. We'll bring awareness up to the tailbone, continue by just tucking that in ever so slightly, seeing how it helps to lift the bottom of the rib cage just enough that the chin goes back and there's neutrality through our back body. Arms still next to the side. We'll take an inhale here and reach the arms up over the head. And then exhale to bring those palms down in front of the heart. Holding here, noticing the integrity that you hold just within yourself in this simple posture. So I'll review those for you again. Soles of the feet connected to the earth. Soft knees. A little bit of a dip in with the pelvis moving forward. A slight lift through the ribs in the front of the body, just lifting through the heart, lifting all the way to the crown of the head. Take an inhale and exhale with me here. Inhale deep. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Take an inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Shoulders relax down the body. And then we're going to exhale into chair. So when we get in chair, we're thinking about a long spine. The fingers and the arms are reaching it such a way that it's a straight line all the way from the fingertip down to that hip. And then we swing the hips back and curl that tailbone in to engage through the core. Find your strength here. Notice if you're balancing only on the heels of the feet. Bring some awareness to let the weight distribute more evenly through the whole foot. Notice if you put your tongue on the top of your mouth. See if you can relax here through the face and the neck. One more breath. Inhale deep. And then exhale. Go ahead and forward fold. So release through the back body, keeping a bend in the knees if you need to. You can take just a moment to side sway. You can even clasp the elbows. Head hangs heavy, knees are definitely not locked. And we'll take one more breath. Coming back to stillness. We'll take that inhale halfway, long spine. And then exhale to release towards the floor. Inhale down low. And then exhale, slow rise, coming all the way back up. Shoulders come up towards the ears and then roll down the back. Find your integrity, your physical integrity throughout the body right here. One more breath. Inhale, lift the arms up over the head, shoulders relax down. And then exhale, we'll sit it back to that chair. So we'll think about all the things. We'll swing the hips back. We'll curl the tailbone in. And we'll have a line from the fingertips down to the hips. Awareness to weight on the whole foot, not just on the heels. One more breath. Inhale deep. And then exhale, forward fold. Fully releasing the upper body as you have this forward fold. Protecting the lower body by keeping a bend in the knees, nice and soft through the back body.
And then we'll walk those hands forward, walk feet back, find your down dog. So integrity even in down dog. Down dog doesn't have to be a passive posture that's just a linking posture. In other words, it links us from being on our knees or on our bellies up to a standing posture. In some cases, down dog is even a resting posture, much like child's pose. I don't teach those kind of classes. So we're just hanging out here. One more breath. We're thinking about lifting the hips up towards the sky, staying strong through the arms. And again, we're not worried about whether or not the heels make it to the back of the mat. As you're ready, we're going to lower those knees down right under the hips and then let the tops of the feet come to the mat. Go ahead and send the hips back towards the heels. We're coming into child's pose. Release everything. You could always do a wide leg child's pose where you bring your knees to the outside edges of the mat and let the belly and torso fall in between the legs. That's always available. Last breath. Here we go. Take an inhale and we'll come up to table. Curl toes, lift hips, down dog. And throughout the practice, you're taking nice, big, deep inhales and exhales. Give yourself one more breath. We're going to take a slow walk back up to the top of the mat. And we'll meet back in that forward fold. Take an inhale halfway, long spine. And then exhale to release towards the floor. We'll take an inhale down low. And then exhale, slow rise, coming up in a way that serves, honoring that low back. As the palms come near the hips, we'll take a fresh inhale, reach the arms up over the head. And then exhale, hands down in front of the heart, bowing chin to chest. Find the connection to the earth. Use your awareness of all of those little checkpoints from the soles of the feet up to the crown of the head. Notice the integrity here in this posture. One more breath. Beautiful. As you're ready, we're going to take this right foot and step it back and bring the heel in towards the center. We're setting up for Warrior Two. So we're going to go through a checklist of everything that we need to be paying attention to here in Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, for our legs, we have the heel right behind the toes, and we have the knee right over the ankle. And then this right foot, the back of the right foot is pressing into the mat. And then my shoulders are square over my hips. Arms come into a T, and then my gaze will be over this middle finger of the left hand. I'm not going to just show you my middle finger. So then we're going to lift through the spine, just like we've been doing, and really find that length through the spine. We're thinking about opening through this right shoulder. This is your integrity. If you're leaning forward, you're putting way too much weight on that front thigh. So you know leaning forward, okay? One more breath. Beautiful. Straighten through that left leg. Bring the left toes towards the long edge of your mat. And then check to see if you've locked your knees. If you have, let them soften just a bit. Take an inhale, lift the arms up over the head, and let the shoulders relax down. We'll take a fresh breath and then exhale to forward fold. So we're in this wide leg forward fold here. Knees not locked. There can even be a little bend in them. And the upper body hangs heavy. Releasing through the low back, stretching through the back of the legs. One more breath. Beautiful. Bend your knees deep. Take an inhale. And then exhale, slow rise, coming up. Bring those arms back into a T. And then we'll just spin on the heel of that left foot, left toes back to the front of the mat. And we'll lunge in, finding warrior two. One more breath. Straighten through that left leg. Bring those left toes towards the long edge of the mat. If you need to adjust your stance just a little bit, just shimmy the feet closer together. We're going to go ahead and spin these right toes towards the back of your mat and then bend into that right knee, finding warrior two on the opposite side. So we'll do our little checkpoints again. We've got the left heel right behind the left toes. The left, I said left, it's right. Right knee over right heel. Hips towards the side. So the hips aren't lunging forward. This back hip, this left hip is open and the shoulders are over the hips. Arms into the T. Gaze over that middle finger of the right hand. And again, I'm not going to show you my right middle finger. One more breath. Beautiful. Straighten through that right leg. Spin on the heel of the right foot, toes towards the long edge of the mat. Inhale to lift the arms up, shoulders relax, and then exhale, forward fold. So here we are again, maintaining integrity in the body by not locking the knees. Upper body hangs heavy. Shoulders droop down towards the floor. One more breath. Bend the knees deep. Take an inhale. And then exhale, make your way back up. Bring the arms back into the T, and we'll move back into that warrior two. So spinning on the ball of the right foot. Heel comes behind the toes, lunging into the right leg, and you've got the hips right under the shoulders, open to the left. One more breath. Beautiful. Straighten through that right leg. Bring those right toes back towards the long edge of the mat. We're going to spin the left toes back towards the front of the mat and then let ourselves windmill down towards the floor. You're going to spin on the ball of the right foot and then just bring this left foot back to meet it. We'll meet in down dog. From here, bend your knees and press into the balls of your feet and let your body ripple into a plank. This first one, we're actually going to lower our knees just so we can work on the integrity of the posture. So when we come into plank, we're going to make sure that our wrists are right under our shoulders and we're staying strong. So if you'll notice, I'm not dipping down into my upper body. I'm really staying strong through the upper body. And there's a long line from the crown of my head down to my hips. Okay, so we're going to lower into cobra from here. So as we do that, we're going to bend the elbows and let them stay close into the ribs. So we're really using our strength to lower all the way down. Once we get here, tops of the feet relax onto the mat. Shoulders are right over wrists. And then what you'll do is you'll take an inhale and you'll start to press your pelvis into the mat as you lift through the back of the head, right up to the crown, lifting a little bit through the throat. So you'll feel the breath in the belly. You're reaching through the crown of the head. The back body is really engaged here. Legs engaged, kneecaps lifted. Inhale. And then exhale to lower down. Let's practice that again. Inhale, engage the low body, pressing the pelvis into the floor, lifting through the crown of the head. And we're lifting from the low back, not from the hands, so we can lift hands off the mat. And that is your integrity. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Press your hands into the mat. Send the hips back. Find your child's pose, releasing the low back. You can even shimmy the hips side to side here, releasing through the lower back muscles on either side. One more breath. Inhale, back to table. Curl your toes, lift your hips, down dog. One more breath. Let's give ourselves another slow walk up to the top of the mat. We'll meet in that forward fold. We'll take an inhale halfway, long spine. And then exhale to release towards the floor. Inhale down low. And then exhale, slow rise, coming up in a way that serves the low body. As the palms come near the hips, take a fresh breath, reach the arms up over the head. And then let the palms come together down in front of the heart. Find your pose, your mountain pose. So connect the feet, soften the knees, ripple up through the spine, tuck the tailbone in, notice the lift through the low ribs. Chin comes back in naturally, crown reaches towards the sky. Give yourself a breath here. All right, we're going to take an inhale and step this right foot back. So we're setting up for Warrior One. And in Warrior One, the hips are going forward the same direction as the left knee. The right foot, I'd like to say that the heel of the right foot is, if you were looking at a clock, the heel of the right foot is at 6 o'clock. And the toes of the right foot are at 1, maybe 2 o'clock. So they're pointed out just a little bit to the side. And you're pressing into that whole inside of the right foot. So you're feeling it from the ankle all the way up to the hip. And then you're lunging over this left knee. So the knee stays over the heel. And then the arms rise, but the shoulders stay down. So the shoulder blades almost feel like they're trying to hug behind you and kiss right behind you. So you've got a lot of engagement here and the heart opens. Breathe. And this is your integrity. One more breath. Beautiful. You can lower the hands down to the hips. We're going to come light onto the ball of that right foot and then just come back up to the top of the mat. Take a fresh breath, send that left foot back. And so you're lunging over this right knee, hips forward towards that right knee, shoulders over the hips. And then this left foot, the left heel is at 6 o'clock this time, and the toes are over at like 11 o'clock. So once you find your lower body, take an inhale, reach the arms up, shoulders come together behind, shoulder blades kiss, opening through the heart. Using the inside and outside leg muscles, the adductor and the abductor muscles, to really keep that knee centered over the heel. Beautiful. Inhale here. Coming light onto the ball of the left foot. And we'll come up to the top of the mat and just let those arms drop. Let's get into the thoracic spine just a bit. So you're going to take your feet wide to the outside edges of the mat. Let the arms come loosely, just hanging out by the sides. And then we'll inhale over to one side and then exhale to the other. You can come up onto the ball of the opposite foot. One more breath. Beautiful. All right. Let's work on integrity and balance in a balance pose. So we're going to just come to mountain where we have those hands right in front of the heart. We have the feet connected to the mat. So let's go ahead and I'll turn to this side. Let's go ahead and do our little check. So feet connected to the earth, rippling up through the crown of the head. And then we'll soften those knees. Knees don't lock. We'll tuck that tailbone in, automatically lifting through the front of the rib cage, letting the chin come back down towards or come back just a little bit. So we have this nice, long, flat back. So we'll start with a really simple balance pose for today. We'll just practice lifting a leg. So we're going to take an inhale and move all of your body weight over to the left side of your body. So let's check all the things that we just did from mountain. Let's check it right here. So sole connected to the floor, soft knee, tailbone in, ribs come out just a bit, and the crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. So that's going to get us really light on this right foot. So let's just lift the right knee. And you can lift it as far as it feels okay in your body. And so I want you to think about engaging through the glutes and really tucking the pelvis in, which helps to engage the core muscles and those hip flexors. That is your integrity in a balance pose. Soft gaze, about 3 or 4 inches in front of you. Not 3 or 4 inches, 3 or 4 feet. One more breath. Beautiful. Slowly lower that right leg down. Let it reconnect to the mat. Take an inhale and send awareness over to the right side. So we'll do all of those things from here. Foot's connected, soft knee, tailbone tucks in, ribs lift, length of the spine with the crown all the way up towards the sky. Light on those left toes, and then we'll simply lift this left leg. So tucking in the tailbone, don't lock that standing leg if you can help it. You're using all of your core muscles, using the leg muscles. And you're using a soft gaze at something that's not moving to help you maintain your integrity right here. Slowly lowering that left knee down the mat. We'll take an inhale, lift the arms and the gaze up towards the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. Once you get in your forward fold, let's step those feet back and make our way back to down dog. Strong through the arms, tailbone towards the sky.
You've got that same flat back that we've been speaking of throughout mountain pose and through balancing pose. We'll bend those knees once again, let them come down to the mat. So the knees are right under the hips. Hands are right under shoulders. We're going to practice moving from chaturanga into up dog. If chaturanga to up dog does not work in your body, then feel free to lower all the way back down and move through cobra, which is what we practiced last time. So for chaturanga, what you do, I'm going to squeeze my knees a little bit closer together. What you do is you bend those elbows and you slowly lower the upper body. And then start to rotate by pressing the hands into the mat to really find some lift. The crown reaches towards the head. You engage the low body so that the knees lift off the mat, hips sink down towards the mat. You're on the tops of your feet. So you're really feeling a stretch through the torso, and there's a lot of release through the hips. And for a lot of people, this is too much, which is why cobra is an option. So lower those knees. We're going to send the hips back towards the heels. Child's pose is a great counter pose to up dog. So we're just releasing through that low back. And this is where the shimmy side to side feels so good. One more breath. All right. As you're ready, we'll make our way back into that table and we'll curl our toes, lift our hips one more time, down dog. We'll walk the feet up to the top of the mat and meet in that forward fold, big bend in the knees. Take an inhale halfway, long spine. And then exhale to release back towards the floor. Inhale down low. And then exhale, slow rise, coming up in a way that serves. We'll check that integrity through mountain. So soles pressing into the earth. Rippling up through the crown of the head, tailbone in, rib cage lifts. Inhale, arms above the head. And then exhale, hands come back down in front of the heart. Give yourself a breath, full connection with the feet to the mat. All right. From here, go ahead and step that right foot back. You're going to bring the right heel back in towards the midline. We're going to have warrior two legs, which is what we did when the first standing flow, which we're not really flowing today. So find the lower body legs. So the knee is over the ankle, the heel is behind the toes, and then the hips are open, shoulders are over hips. Right foot digs into the back of the mat. Arms come into that T. I'll show you side angle from here. So you're going to bend this left elbow and let it come down to the top of this left knee. So what you don't want to do here is let all your weight sink in where the whole left side body collapses towards the leg. You want to keep that length through the elbow all the way up to the shoulder. So there's a little triangle in between that space. And then you'll take a fresh breath. This right arm reaches up and over. So then there's this long line from the right fingertip all the way down to the right foot. And then things that you'll want to think about as you move through finding your integrity in this posture. I'll move to the side so you can see me. So right now, if you look, I'm leaning forward with my upper body, even though I'm strong through that left elbow. So what I want to do is really open my body so that it's in the same line, so that my right shoulder is in the same line as my right hip.
And then you just inhale and come back into warrior two. Beautiful. Press into that left leg to straighten it, and you can come back to the top of the mat. Find your mountain pose, hands at the heart. So find your own integrity here. Do your checklist. Find your breath. We'll step that left leg back and open our legs into warrior two legs. So once you get all of those things, open the arms. We'll practice side angle on this side. So this right elbow comes down to the right knee, staying nice and strong, not falling into it. And then we'll send these left fingertips over to the right. So awareness to the heart and the chest. If you feel like you're leaning forward, like I showed you on the other leg, reach up through that left shoulder, extend the left fingertips away. Feel that stretch all the way through that left side body as the left shoulder tries to be in line with that left hip. Here we go. Nice big inhale. We'll come back to that warrior two. You can straighten through this right leg and then just bring yourself back up to the top of the mat. Meet me back in mountain. Check all the things. Inhale, lift the arms up over the head. And then exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and step those feet back and find down dog. Here we go. Bend those knees, press into the balls of the feet. We're going to ripple into plank. So you have choices here. You can lower the knees just like we've done the last 2 times, or you can stay in full plank, just making sure that the booty's not up in the air. Wrists right under shoulders. You can move through cobra or chaturanga to up dog. So as you're ready, take your inhale. Keep those elbows in close to the rib cage as you lower down, and then make your way into up dog or cobra. One more breath, strong through the arms if you're an up dog. And we'll lower those knees, send the hips back. Child's pose. Release 3 breaths. Here we go. Slowly coming up to table, and you're just going to kick your feet over to one side so that you can come down to your booty. And we're going to do a wide leg forward fold today. So you're going to come into a seat that allows you to really find some length through the legs. But also, we're going to focus on finding that really tall spine. So that posture that we've been working on over and over again in mountain pose. I want you to think about the action of the tailbone when you're in mountain pose and take that here. So you're going to tuck the tailbone in, lift through the ribs, and find that length through the spine. If we do these things, we know that the back is nice and flat. So we'll take an inhale, lift the arms up over the head, shoulders relax. And then exhale, we'll let the arms come forward as we hinge at the hips to bring the hands down to the mat or out in front, depending on which way you're seated. So I'm going to keep my feet flexed. If this is too much, you can probably bring the legs in. That may help some. You could keep a little bend in the knees. You could even take something and put them under the knees to give yourself a little bit more space. What I love about forward folds is they really connect us to our breath. So we're going to practice the inhales and the exhales here together and find that place that you can listen to that inner voice on that exhale that will tell you if you've gone too far or if you need to come out a little bit, or maybe you could go a little bit deeper. The goal of yoga is to be in touch, not to touch. So we're not trying to let our whole upper body just fall in between our legs. All right, so you've got your posture, and you could be all the way up here. That's fine. So I want you to keep that long spine. Find your inhales and exhales. You don't have to change anything about the breath. And notice how the heart presses forward on that exhale. And is there more release there where you want to come down just a little bit more? And release your jaw. Sometimes tension shows up there. Last breath. Here's your integrity. As you're ready, start to walk yourself back up with your hands, and we'll bring those legs together. Send them towards the front of your mat. And we're just going to roll down onto our backs and bring the knees into the chest. Let the upper body relax against the mat. You can rock side to side. You can circle the ankles. You can point and flex the feet. One more breath. And from here, I offer you 6 or 7 breaths to give yourself whatever I didn't offer that maybe your body is asking for right now. It could be that happy baby would serve you well. It could be really great to take your mat and move it next to the wall so that you can send your legs up the wall during Shavasana. So just find whatever you think would feel good here. You've got about 2 or 3 more breaths. You can slowly start to make your way into whatever Shavasana will look like for you today. There is no wrong way to do Shavasana, except maybe to talk. You can slowly start to bring some awareness back into this space that you and I have created together. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles.
And reach your arms up over your head, point your toes away, give yourself a full body stretch. Roll on to one side or the other. Bring your knees up towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, honoring the work that you have done for yourself here today. And as you're ready, you can meet me back in a comfortable seat. You can bring your hands together in front of the heart, bow chin to chest. Our quote today is by Michelle Obama. And she says, "I've learned that as long as I hold fast to my beliefs and values and follow my own moral compass, then the only expectations I need to live up to are my own." May we know and honor integrity in ourselves and each other. May we understand that integrity is not something that we can simply just push aside. It is valued and valuable in ourselves and in our communities. Until we meet again, gratitude for practicing with me today. Namaste. Thank you, sweet friends. If you enjoyed this class, please leave me a comment so that I know that you did. If you haven't already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you do that as well. And leave me some feedback, leave me some comments so I know what else that it is that you're looking for. Until we meet again, take good care.